presently have. Okay, this is weird. What is going on here? Give me one wee second, folks.
Went through the police are requesting an ambulance to detail man screaming for one. Inside the Irish Social Club at number 19 Park Street, West Roxbury.
So, if I boost this, but that's big problem. Check 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's something. So then the levels here are a little bit weird as well. Let's try and see. Okay, we've got a big problem. Heidi, Ricky. There's a problem with my mic right now that I'm just trying to fix.
Inside the Irish Social Club at number 19 Park Street, West Roxbury. 19 Park Street, 156.
Let's see. Sorry, just trying to get this. Yep, it's very weird. I don't understand what is going on. Give me a sec. Definitely wrong. Check 1, 2. Let's see. Any better? Not really. That's a concern. Yeah. I have a feeling that thing is just blocked. Let me check with the microphone. Time to do some science. And by science, I mean plugging in another microphone. and then we'll get to painting. This here. How does this sound? Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Okay, we've got a problem here on the actual thing itself. Check. Yep. Okay. I figured out our problem. So, let's go ahead and add our filters back on. What the hell do you mean? Right, what? Why are you not offering me filters on the thing? This is annoying. I have a feeling I have fixed it. 1 second. Check 1 2. And 1 2. There we go. Okay, much better. So, that's that bit done. Let's look at microphone filters, because we need to add those in. Why are you not letting me have a filter on my goddamn microphone here? Oi, I bet you it's because I've got equalization going on in the thing. So, sound settings. Let's try this here. I really need to move away from Streamlabs because this goddamn thing is so annoying sometimes. So, blend microphone, enhancements, disable those, lovely. Into here, disable the enhancements on this. And there we go. Okay, that's much nicer. But it's still not letting me add filters on, which is ridiculous, in fact. I know. All I want to add is like a negative 60 decibel threshold thing for noise suppression. But instead, it's insisting that I have some small amount of background noise, which I don't want. I also would like a limiter, but it's not giving me that option either. So, okay, fuck it. We're just going to get into painting, I guess, now. So, as you probably can guess from the title, the way it says about, hey, we're testing contrast paints tonight. That's what we are in fact doing. So, you can see I have here, this is one of my Space Marines, which I have base coated in Mephiston Red, and we're just seeing what some of these contrasts actually look like. So let's take brush, give it a wash and everything. We also are going to need, what do you call it? Kitchen roll. Let's get some of that. So, roll of this, and we can give our brush a little dry off. We're going to take some of the Doomfire Magenta, and we're going to pop it onto our wet palette here. Nice and runny on the wet palette, which is nice. So, it's also a very nice red. I like it. It's sort of a pinkish kind of red. So let's take a little bit of it and try it on. We're just gonna wash it onto his pauldrons, his boots, all of these little bits. So, yep, you can kind of see from the color of it. It's a very deep sort of red, which I quite like actually, the way it's going. It's a very nice color. I'm a fan of it so far. Get a good wash over all the little bits and see what we can. You can see it also just runs nice and easily off of the brush, which is a definite plus. Whoop. So let's get a good bunch of it onto the base here. And we want it on. We're not going to worry too much about the soles of his boots or anything, because those there are not going to be red. The soles of his boots we are going to be doing in black. But just with one batch, we've already got a good bit of detailing, or not detailing, coverage rather. Good bit of coverage on the model here. So yeah, liking those. And let's, it's not a very good, like this camera, I need to figure out how to get the lightness to come out much nicer. So let's actually check. I might be able to do it as something with this. So filters, let's have a look and see. No, not filters. Let's configure the video properties, video decoder. And if we boost the contrast, okay, that's not helping. Terrible. So let's put the contrast to around about 150. Saturation, we can increase up just a little bit, and the hue is hue's actually okay as a sort of color thing for it. Now let's boost the light on this here so that hopefully you'll get a really nice strong example of what it looks like. I'm using just cold white light at the minute, so bump that all the way up. Am I going to give him the tactical Heelys? Of course I am. Every true warrior needs tactical Heelys. So we can now take a bit more of this sort of Gloomfire or Doomfire magenta, and we're going to do his arms, his back, and those little bits. We don't need to worry about his pauldrons that much, because pauldrons are not actually going to be done in this color. The pauldrons instead will be done in what do you call it? Apothecary white. And then the edge on them is going to be done in, what do you call it? Black Templars. So we have these little bits here. I like his little vambrace thing. His vambrace thing is very cool actually. So I'm painting these guys with Blood Raven's colors just because Dawn of War was among my first intros to Warhammer, and I absolutely loved the Dawn of War games, so I was like, you know what? Blood Angels, everyone paints Blood Angels at some point or another, but not enough people give love to the OG. Not actually OG, they were invented just for Dawn of War, but they were still incredibly fun. The Blood Angels, not Blood Angels, Blood Ravens, sorry. the #1 looters of absolutely everything. So give a good wash over all of this here. And lovely. So, good bit of red done on it. Now, we no longer need that red. What we're after now is we are going to do the white sections now. So, brush this, and where is it? Apothecary white. Give this a good mix. I'm counting that as mixed. So now we'll take, whoop, maybe that's not as mixed as I want it to be. It's almost greyish kind of colouring to it. Very interesting. We're gonna see what it looks like when it comes out onto the model. So, get a good brush worth, and we're going to brush it over here. Oh, this is gonna require many, many layers. I just think this is not mixed particularly, this apothecary white. Yep, this apothecary white is not mixed for sure. So let's take the opportunity then. Let's grab our, where is it? Our laboratory grade mixer. So we're going to take this, which is our vortex mixer, and we are going to use it to hopefully mix everything together to where it's one solid, consistent thing. Let's do ourselves a favor and clear a little bit of space on the desk. Right. I should definitely not rest it on top of my work laptop. Let's not do that. So you are going away. Sorry, work laptop, you're gonna have to just not until tomorrow. Just pop you down here. Whoop, and whoop, there we go. So, right. Vortex mixer. We're gonna put you on manual mode and not too much. Wow. Oh boy, that's not good. Yeah, we're not going to use the vortex mixer. For some reason, it's causing crackling on stuff, despite the fact it's not running off the same goddamn thing. So I think what we're going to have to do, I think I see a bit of a problem down in there, where some of the pigment for this here has just set right down in at the bottom. So let's take a spare brush thing that we've got, and we're just gonna try and swirl as much around and lift as much off of the bottom here as we can. So yeah, lot of pigment that was sort of set down at the bottom. Let's see if that has released any of it and if it's now in a nicer position. So let's give this a try again. And here we go. Time to see. It looks like it's slightly lighter, but it's still... Oh, well, you know something, actually? It's not as separated as it was. There's actually more pigment coming through now, which is nice. Still gonna require a few layers, but so be it. Okay, so there's one. Let's do this other one here as well while we're at it. And push this down and around through. So try and get a little bit more without brushing off too much of the stuff. So Apothecary White is definitely the one I'm least impressed with in terms of the contrasts. It's just not very good ratio for things. And I can't think of a time where I would say, oh yeah, this is superior to just doing it manually. Not at this rate, at least. So, a little bit of rinsing off of this here. We're gonna let it have its silly little thing there. Black Templar, I guess, is something we could give a go. So let's try. Black Templar will be an bit of an easier one to do. So you know something, actually, this here is just that little thing. It's not working that nicely, so let's get this out of the way. And instead we'll just connect this in like this. And go with that. So disconnect that mini HDMI thing. We are going to hide that and let's switch on the Canon webcam. It's interesting. Okay, can we configure video in any way for it? No. So at that point we just... Oop. Yep, we're not able to do any tweaking to the image whatsoever, which is shite because that's not really the best representation of what color it looks like. It's really dark comparatively. Let's see. Which of these... Okay, this here is a little closer to true color, but still way off. You know what, actually, while this here is like that, okay, let's try and get a little bit more coverage with the Apothecary White. We might actually, under this, okay, that's not a horrendous second coat, and we've got enough here we can do our proper first coat on these wee bits. So, alright. Got this here. If we build it up bit by bit, that's okay. And then we can switch over to the Black Templar, which we'll use. Black Templar will be much easier to use, for sure. So you can see the little brush strokes as we're pulling it across, which is what's going to be the most annoying thing about this. So yeah, not ideal, not great, not fantastic, none of those things. I guess, yeah, let's take a little bit of the Black Templar and we're going to put it onto our wet palette at least. Now, Black Templar is, oh my god, that's like oil. I like that. So, give a good rinse off of that there, and we'll see. Right, so this here, what happens if I go like this? It does nothing. Let's try a different scene. Whoop. Oh, this here, this is way more like it. This is way more like it. So that we went down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is so much closer to the actual color that there is. I can actually go ahead and reduce this down even further. So that was 3 clicks, and this here will do the same. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So, while that there is doing that bit, we're going to take a little bit of, actually no, you know what, different brush. We want a smaller brush than even that. So we're going to take our very fine point fella here, and we're going to load contrast onto it. So, we want to get the contrast down into these little recesses in here. We want to look at the back, so yep, we want them also running across these little bits here. So that there, you can see the little bits there, and right, a little bit more black onto the brush because we want a good coating of black on the bottom of the shoes. And we're going along these little edge sections here. So, whoop, mysterious crackle for some reason. And there's a little boot for him. We'll grab a little bit more pigment, in fact, because we do require a little bit more than that.
Am I alive yet? Now, this here, we're going onto this. And we're trying to go around. We've accidentally gone over on a couple little bits. And we could do with adding a little bit more onto some of these bits down at the bottom. And okay, so he's got his little shoe there. Definitely need some more Black Templar. And a little bit more, because we're also going to go around this little boot of his. So we need more Black Templar. Hey, Stratman, how are you going? Are you well? 'Cause you're looking well. We're just testing out some contrast paints and seeing how they look as far as things go. Apothecary White I'm not impressed with, just because it is so thinned out, and I haven't even really thinned it. It just doesn't have the pigment I want it to, which is very unfortunate. Ooh, that was possibly a bit too much on the brush there. I think that definitely was too much on the brush. But it might give us what we need for going around some of these little bits at the edge of his shoes here. And up we go. Round and down. And we'll try and give his boots nice little black trim that you would expect a Blood Raven to have. Not a Blood Angel, but a Blood Raven. The chapter of ultimate thievery. The guys who are always just going, it's like, hey, this is a nifty little thing. Let's go ahead and steal it. Yep, that's the Templars. I am doing very well, thank you for asking. So, we want these here little bits covered, like the straps. Those there, we want covered. I'm also quite enjoying the Black Templar contrast, just because on some of these shapes it's just perfect. For example, these here wings on his chest piece would probably be an absolute ball ache with if I was just going through with a layer, but the way the contrast paints just sink in perfectly. I'm a fan, for sure. Like that there, we've got that. So let's try and get a little bit more pushed down into there, and just a teensy bit for the skull here. The skull and the outer bit of these wings. So, nice and easy. That right there. His belt is also going to be Black Templar, running around that little bit. and over on this here side as well. Teensy taste more. So, okie dokes, there's that little black bit. Black Templar works very good to paint a little black bits, the space between the armor. Exactly right, that's what I'm really enjoying it for. I think I'm also going to do the little bit just under his chest plate here. This here is also going to be done in Black Templar. And round this back. We'll try and get it too. So, yeah. Oop. That there, like, yeah. Really small little things to do, but they definitely kind of add up for the little details. I mean, it's not anything particularly intense that we've done, but that right there, we need just a touch more Black Templar to go into this here bit here. And that right there. Yeah, no. Bit more than that still. I'm almost wanting to push it into, yeah, there we go. Pushing it into those little recesses. So at that point, nicer coverage. Right, there we go. Now, we've got a little bit more apothecary white to apply and see just what we can do with that. So, apothecary white. Let's see if it is just a case of you need absolutely shit tons of this stuff, or if it's a case of it's just a shit color, or a shit contrast one. I feel like it's probably one of those ones that is best if you're applying apothecary white over white to give it a slightly bluish tinge. But then that raises the question of why the hell would you not just use like a shade or something? So, a little bit of white there, a little bit of that. Fine. Okay, now, give it a second to dry. Let's see, what flesh tone are we gonna go for? Also, this guy, the way I see it, that looks like hair he's got. So, let's see, what should we do? We're gonna try, ironically, for a flesh tone, we're gonna try out Skeleton Horde. and see how that does. And then for his hair, let's go for Fire Slayer Flesh. Or do we go the other way around? No, we're going to do Fire Slayer Flesh for his skin, and then his hair will be Skeleton Horde. That's the order we should do it in. So, grab some Fire Slayer Flesh. Not going to need much. And pop it onto our wet palette. Give it a stir around. And we're trying to just get these little bits here. Maybe I should have used more of this than I originally anticipated. It's not giving him the fleshy sort of color I would like. I'm just testing to see like how much can you undo a color with a contrast. That's basically my question. Like, could I theoretically, with a contrast, undo a particular color? Let's go more of this. It's slowly getting there. So that's 2 layers. Let's see how a third one comes out. And as I notice it, it is actually, I suppose, pulling out the redness and replacing it a little bit with a darker skin tone. So yeah, I guess this is kind of working. Because, yep, up here, when we hold them like this. Alright. That could work. Another couple of layers. Okay, gonna need more for that. Right. You can see where they're just, the Fire Slayer flesh has just been brushed away from the point. Although, who knows, maybe that's actually going to work out okay with that sort of coloration and all, because maybe the way that's going to work, it's going to end up looking like a bruised reddened or injured spot. So maybe that will be something good for it. But we're gonna stop with that there. Stop with the Fire Slayer flesh, and we're gonna switch over to the skeleton horde in just a wee second. But first, let's try and get some more onto our, what do you call it? Our pauldrons. So there's, okay, a little bit better coverage. And we'll try the same over on this here side. Okay, getting there bit by bit. Just requires a lot of goes of the apothecary wipe. Let's see. So we've done like left to right on it and everything. I think we should probably start doing top to bottoms on it. And that might end up looking nicer. So the pauldrons are starting to come along. Let's have a look at his head and see. There is that spot there, but maybe that's just going to look discolored, especially if we apply a little bit of purple on it. You know what? Actually, there's an idea. Purple. We don't want a vibrant one. We want something like Shaiish purple. And that hopefully with that area will look very pretty. We want it to be almost like blood vessels kind of thing. So down here, so there is that little bit. Let's see, if I switch this, turn this way down, do the same for this here, you go way down and switch over into the mixed section. Nope, that's nope to that, and let's try this. Yeah, no, that is a no. Let's switch you to the cold white and switch you down. Yep. So there is the little spot there. Yeah. I think that purple was a good wee idea, because hopefully with the other colors it's going to compound and it's going to make it to where, let's see, let's do 1, 2, yep, okay, right. So yeah, the way you can see, there is that little bit there. And now, if we go for something like this here, yeah, let's go for this here skeleton horde and give it a try. There we go. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. I really am intrigued by the color of this. Huh. So this isn't what I expected Skeleton Horde to be. Let's see what it looks like if I just apply it onto here. Okay, it's no. So it's another one that's, I'm going to presume at the minute it just needs another good bit of mixing. But that Skeleton Horde, not really what I'm after. Let's try it again here. Yeah, it doesn't really have enough pigment. It's a little bit like the, what do you call it? The Apothecary White. It's not even coming out nicely on the Apothecary White that much. Like some of these really surprise me with how well they come out. Some of them do not. Skeleton Horde over the right base coat, I think, would be capable of being very impressive. As it stands, it's not. So, right. Let's try and see if Apothecary White can undo this at least. Not really. Tell you what could is Black Templar, but not what we're after here. Let's see. We're gonna test. No, we're not even gonna test. We're gonna just straight up grab a layer paint. Let's go for. Nope, not Screaming Skull. Pallid Witch Flesh. Pallid Witch Flesh is the base color we're going for. Gonna shrink the TikTok one down. Right, so this here. Try and get it so you can see more in the TikTok side of it. Right. Pallid Witch Flesh we're going to use for the face. Ooh. This is how long it's been since I used Pallid Witch Flesh. My god, this is not the best it's ever come out. I mean, he certainly is looking witchly at the moment. Let's try another little bit of it. Oh, that was much better the way it combined.
To find all by design, feeling all this power,
A little bit more.
reckless and devour, traveling the sound, never backing down, wanting to find more.
Okay. A little bit better coverage on his face. He obviously looks extremely pale right now. He is not that pale. Let's see. Definitely not that color. Right, so no to that. And that's too light. Fine, we're gonna have to just use that. Right. Let's take a little bit of this here and put it down onto our wet palette. And these here bits going. Try and get the back of his head also done. Right, so he has, at the moment, I wonder, can I get a look-see at this here thing? Give me one wee second. I want to see if I can play about with the camera settings during this here and get a better image. So this here Whoop. Trying to locate some of the little bits on here. So, right, this should be our quick menu thing. Huh. Nope. To that. So, let's see. Quick menu, can you... let's see. This here. Ooh. That's Clyde. Let's try fluorescent light. Ooh, no. Ooh, that's a little bit better. And right, this natural and we try an ISO up like this, maybe. That's not affected how I wanted either. Damn shame that. Okay. I guess we're just going into this here, and you'll just have to pretend I know what I'm doing. I wish there was a better suite for PC than this here, because it's really not the best. I should also do myself a favor and pop some, you know what? While I remember, let's get some in there. And yes, here we go. So, Pallid Witch Flesh, you need a couple of the paint agitators. Let's get these popped in. And whoop. We're gonna put 2 in. So now hopefully that should break everything up. Oh, that looks much more consistent now. Now, we'll try this again and see if we can. Still got that streaking going on, but that's okay. Right, so that's his base coated. His hair is going to just get Skeleton Horde applied to it. Right, so Skeleton Horde, let's see what it looks like when applied onto pallid witch flesh. That is not the nicest color. He looks decidedly unwell. I can't tell what I think the color is of it. It's like a greeny brown. It looks more like a Nurgle color than a Tomb King's one, for example. Yeah, it's... You know what it kind of looks like? Kind of looks the same color as bile, which is not a great comparison. You don't want that there sort of one used to describe your colors. Although I suppose for skeletons, it probably makes a hell of a lot of sense. Okay, this one has, this one has, this one has, that one has, this one does not, and this one does. Right, so I need paint agitators into each of these. I only need one into each because they're a contrast, so that's my hopes, is one will do fine. So, boop into there and boop into there. Lovely and lovely. Now, I guess we'll just take a little bit of the Fire Slayer flesh and just use it. A tiny little bit onto here. Interesting. So on red it comes out almost black, but on white it's definitely a much more fleshy tone to it. So let's wash it over. And see. Level of separation on this brush is not helping in the slightest. A little bit more, which will pop on from this here side. And then, okay. So it's going to have a rather hideous scar on his face. A yellowish sort of tinge to it. But, so be it. Okay, I think I got some of the little imperfections sorted. So it's going to look slightly splotchy, but not as bad as it did before. And hopefully just enough that we'll be able to say, oh, it was battle injuries or something. So I'll show you what I mean about not the best. The way that comes out. Yep. Not happy. Not happy at all, but what odds? We didn't expect we were going to be entirely happy with some of these things. And it's just kind of told me, it's like, yeah, so I just need to use a bit of brush soap on my brushes. Because their hooking is just really the problem with them. So let's get these here sorted. Yeah, definitely not going to work like that. Let's see, actually, can we, if I go with this, can I? Nope, this does not work like that. I was hoping because of the amount of bristles on this that would be able to just sort of brush over stuff, but doesn't appear to be the case. However, if I go ahead and give this a very good and vigorous rinse, so yep, doesn't look like any other color coming off. Let's test and see. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got fixes we need to do to this guy, but we're gonna get him fixed another time because we're a little bit late tonight to start, and we also have an office day tomorrow, so I am going to get ready for bed, get a good night's rest, and then I will be back on Friday afternoon, where we'll be playing a little bit of hell diving with the new update. So, meantime, take care of yourselves, have a great night, and